we should also bring YouTube over and see who we're going to be playing as while we talk about various game trailers. From the Summer Game thingy, the Xbox Bethesda show, the Capcom event. Ugh. It's Jacob. Tainted Jacob. Well, there's always the random button if we quote-unquote happen to quote-unquote accidentally die. We'll see. So I want to start with some trailers that I didn't talk about on Sunday because they hadn't happened yet. On Monday there was a Capcom show and I also got caught up on some trailers that happened during my stream. So I couldn't watch them. I watched the one for what is it called? Starlight? What's the Bethesda one that's just a No Man's Sky ripoff? Star Traveler? Starfield! The name just doesn't stick. Oof. The trailer looked neat, like the game looks pretty, it looks like it might be a better version of No Man's Sky with a little bit of like typical Bethesda mixed in. Yeah, I skipped parts, every part of the trailer that had Todd, what's his face, talking. Because all I hear is lies. But the gameplay itself looked nice. I'm going to be doing a lot of good cop, bad cop. The thing I did not like about the trailer is the impact of combat seemed very, very boring. Like, you know, they were shooting these like machine guns and they had like some kind of weird space gun. There was no blood, there was no like ragdolling, the enemies just kind of slumped. You know what I mean? It didn't look super interesting. So the combat didn't do anything for me. But discovering a 1,000 planets, hopefully with stuff to actually do on them. Having Fallout-esque dialogue, a silent protagonist. You can make your own ship and staff it. You know, that stuff sounds kind of cool. And they have the money to actually make it possible, whereas, you know, No Man's Sky promised a lot and delivered very little. I tried to use Anima Sola. What a waste. Oh well, we skipped one room that I'll probably just leave it. I don't think we need to do anything else on the floor, do we? Oh, you've been playing with the AI bot? I do like those. I think they're going to wear thin real quick, but I've seen some of them, well, I've been retweeting the ones I find funny. Wow, a speed up and a bomb place rate up. Amazing. I did know that Squanch Games, or whatever they're called, the Rick and Morty people, are making a new game, but I didn't see anything about it. I only know that because the Red Letter Media guys are doing voices in it. Donald Duck on Dancing with the Stars. That is horrifying. Why is he dancing with himself in most of them? Oh, it's because nobody would want to dance with him, because he's Donald Duck. Yeah. Darth Vader at a Quinceanera? I don't know what that is. That sure is him, though. I did enjoy the one I retweeted earlier today, which is Darth Vader on Pingu. And I really, I don't know why I found it so funny, but Gordon Ramsay screaming at a baby, I thought was hilarious. But you're getting me off subject. Although semi-related, my niece is 11 months old already. She's almost a year old. That is horrifying. Tiny humans grow up so fast. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Starfield. I watched the trailer for that this morning. I watched the new Sunbreak trailer, which obviously had a bunch of returning monsters, one of which I called, or didn't call, I asked for. I'm very happy about that. Court is very happy about that. Overly so, actually. I think he might be horny. But it's looking good, and there was a quote-unquote new monster showing off, aka the crossover of a... Well, I guess I don't want to be too specific for spoilers in case anyone cares, but like a half between a Diablos and a Rathian, it looked like. Very, very uninspired. Like, what if we just take the Rathian body type and give it the skin of a Diablos and make it charge a lot? Like, that didn't seem that innovative, let's say. I told you, it's good cop, bad cop. I'm saying what I liked and what I didn't like. That's what I didn't like. The new monster they showed off seemed very lazy. Didn't seem shit, seemed very lazy. The two sentences were not connected there. Although we might be boned. So he doesn't disappear if I'm the lost either now, huh? So if he hits me again, I just die. We've had no stat ups anyway, so, you know. I did not see anything about Overwatch 2. I didn't go looking either. I remember Valinar mentioning that they showed it off. I did watch the trailer Capcom did for that Extinction game they're doing, the kind of like Horde mode Dino Crisis with semi-PvP. Looks okay. I'm hoping that you can do it without the PvP, and you can just do it as a co-op like Dinosaur Horde shooter. I'm also fairly sure that the person doing like the evil AI voice was the guy who voices Virgil, but I might be wrong. Oh, we may yet live. Wait, because I'm the lost, can I just steal? Yep. I haven't even said what we're aiming for, because that's just because I assumed I'd die on the first 2 floors. You like the Dragon's Dogma thing? I thought that was tomorrow, or the 16th or something, isn't it? Or did they hint at it? I also didn't realise the Extinction had a beta. I feel like I'm out of the loop. What other big trailer? Oh, the Silksong trailer, that's what I watched. I didn't even talk about watching the Silksong trailer. Again, good cop, bad cop. It looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it. I wish they'd been more specific about a release date. Some parts of the gameplay in the trailer did make it look like they've made combat overly convoluted, and I worry that they've perhaps tried to do too much. You know, they've kind of Arkham Knighted it, where they're like, no, we can't just do the same free flow combat system again. We've got to add 10 different things and 25 different button combinations to do these things. I really hope it isn't like that, because the combat is fine, but it's ooh, I wasn't sure he was going to not hit me there. The combat is fine, but it was the cool kind of Metroidvania-esque aspect in the platforming that made Hollow Knight so good. The Dark Soulsy type stuff wasn't the main focus for me, personally, but it could be for other people. Thank you, Rydog, for the farting bits, as is tradition. I'll take that as a belated birthday and put them in my cake. Wait, no, that would mean they stink. Never mind. I'll just do something nice with them. But I am still looking forward to it. Obviously, I can't wait to play it. It looks really good. The music was really good. It's the same composer, Christopher something, that's doing the music for it, and he's really... Oh, for God's sake. What is this item selection? What else did I watch from the Bethesda show? I think that was it, honestly. I think it was the Starfield and Silksong. And then from the Capcom thing, it was Monster Hunter and Extinction. Oh no, and the Resident Evil 8 DLC, where you play as Rose. And for some reason, Duke appears to be evil. But, you know, whatever. It's quite neat they're adding a third-person mode. I mean, that's just because, like, from the second any Resident Evil, I was going to say Monster Hunter. The second any Resident Evil fans saw Resident Evil 8, we all knew this is all just assets for a Resident Evil 4 remake. Obviously, it's going to be a one-to-one port. They're making 2 games at the cost of 1, and that's exactly what they're doing. So I think the third-person mode in 8 is just kind of like also something that they hid because it's going to be used in 4. Not Blade, very ahead of next year. Fair enough. I'll try and remember. Charge me, Grandad. Esau is doing a lot of damage. Oh, I still had Spirit Hearts. Apparently I did. Run away! What other trailers were there that I need to cover, Chan? There was a bunch of trailers at that summer show thing. I feel like because we were hearing about them while just on a Saturday stream or whenever it was on Sunday, being a bit flippant about them, and like I did watch some of the trailers, like the one by the Dead Space guys that is Dead Space without being called Dead Space. That looked pretty cool to me upon watching the gameplay demo. What else was there? There was some other horror thing, but I don't remember what it was called. Like, I'm surprised how many games across the weekend and into Monday actually looked interesting. These are all probably things that got delayed a little bit because of COVID as well, so it's all kind of like there was a long delay between interesting releases, but now they're all kind of getting bottlenecked. I didn't watch anything to do with Diablo 4. I have not seen it. Nor would I support it based purely on their appalling exploitation of addiction. Oh, Dark Tide, of course, yeah, I watched a bunch of gameplay demos of that. It looks neat. I linked a almost full mission this morning in Discord. I must say I was getting a little bit annoyed at the people playing it. I don't think they were playing very well. But that's okay, the game looks good and the voice acting is fun. Spend 5 cents to get 5 cents. What a great addition to gameplay those were. Like, I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but yeah, Dark Tide is obviously a day one play for sure. Or sooner. I'm actually, well, I was going to say friends, that's not true, but I have correspondence with their PR person. Yeah, October is going to be a very good month this year. You know, unless we're all dead by then, of course. Stop getting hit by everything. Oh wait, I have base stats, so I can hardly help it. Okay, that is an increased stat, but it's not really the kind I meant. Wait, I used both my items? I was trying to use Anima Sola again. Screw you. Hello, Shells. Did you enjoy your whatever it was you were going to, where you were packing things? Oh, music festival, that's what it was. See, I remember things. I remember you were going to some kind of strange music festival. Let's find item room. And maybe some health or something. If and you like. Ooh. Did you keep yelling at the bands to turn it down because they were playing too loudly, and did any of them agree? Oh, my hand is sore. I've been holding my camera. Actually, that's not my camera holding hand. I don't know why that hand's sore, but it is. I think the lady who voices Carillion is voicing the... her name is Skyer or something? From the gameplay demo, it sounded like her anyway. Like a half-concealed Scottish accent. We did get a good item, but I don't think it's going to be the difference maker I need it to be. And no health is dropping because we're playing hard mode. And I'm having to dodge an enemy that can't die. They could have played it louder. Really? Okay, we got some health. By which I mean one. I want to kill those two. I want him to live. They're filled with spiders! So unless we can think of any other trailers, the other thing I had to talk about is I spent my day off doing a lot of reading because I helped myself to some comics. Oh, joy. What a piss poor assortment of items this is. Oh, actually there could be health in the sacrifice room. I read some comics and some of a book. So would you like to hear about a Batman comic or a Marvel comic? Those are your two options. I'll talk about the book later because obviously I'm just going to touch on it. Because I haven't read very much, I've read about a quarter. Two instant Batmans. You have good taste. Alright, I'll go. I'm just going to run with that then. I read Fear State, which is a story from late last year. It is a very modern story. It didn't have context for everything that was going on in it, so I was a little confused about some stuff. But the general gist of it is that a very poor Steve Jobs impersonation from Silicon Valley is obsessed with Scarecrow's theory of a fear state, which is that if some event puts a city into a state of panic and fear for long enough, those that survive will be stronger for it and come out the other side better. So he works with Scarecrow to try and make it happen. I don't know why he's a Steve Jobs impersonation, given that the man's been dead for however long, but he definitely is. He looks like him, he's got the turtleneck and whatnot. He's called Steve something in it, I think. I don't remember that. The story was pretty fun. It introduces a couple of characters I wasn't familiar with. One who's quite central to the story called... I think she's called Magic Molly? She's called something Molly. Nice. I didn't even see the mask. Am I not dead? How much health did I have? Who's kind of like a cyberpunk hacker lady. Ooh, that's keeping us in it. She did... I mean, I didn't like her design. Let's just... Oh, what a terrible room to have this character. I didn't like her design. She seemed to be trying, like a character that was trying too hard to be modern. Google, like, Batman Molly, and you'll probably find her. Or maybe, like, some drugs, but, you know. Huh. And then there's another character called Peacekeeper 01, which has nothing to do with Peacekeeper from the TV show or Suicide Squad. It's a enforcer for the militarized police that is run by the Silicon Valley guy to kind of take over Gotham. And then there's a more evil version of him called Peacekeeper X. They're kind of silly. One of them just gets murdered by the other, and one of them survives though, so he'll probably be a recurring villain. Because he kind of went insane, thanks to Scarecrow getting in his head. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, Scarecrow isn't using his toxins, he's stolen Mad Hatter tech. So he's getting inside people's heads directly, with like mind control. Scarecrow looks pretty cool in it, and there's some bits where he has like henchmen that look neat. Didn't think that was going to hit me. I don't know what the hell was going on with Poison Ivy in the story. Like, apparently she died at some point. And
full health.
Full health, that's a funny joke. Grew back from a seed, but the seed was splintered. So she was missing, like, her compassion. And then some character called the Gardener grew a new Ivy that was her compassion. And they do, like, a handhold fusion dance, and then she becomes whole again. And she remembers that she used to be a lesbian for Poison Ivy. That's literally what happens. Sorry, a lesbian for Harley Quinn. That's what I meant to say. Because Harley is trying to get her... Oh, excellent. Her humanity back so that they can start dating again. It didn't have too many standout moments, but in general the story was interesting. The art is really good. The art style was great. But a lot of characters I was like, oh, obviously these are very new characters because I don't know who any of them are and I don't like most of them. I don't mind Ghostmaker. He's just Batman with an attitude. I don't mind Clown Killer, although I wish they would stop doing his text entirely in small letters, no capitalization. It's not a good quirk. It's very annoying. I'd accept that in, you know, a digital sense, but not in a they're speaking to each other. If you want them to sound quiet, just write it small. He still capitalizes words. Let's go get the hammer. So I'm not sure if I would recommend it. And as far as modern Batman stories, I much preferred the Batman's Grave. That was a good story. But there's some cool art in it. Nice. He's got the shakes. He's got the shakes bad. It was better than... what was it called? Imposter that I talked about before. Probably not in an Isaac episode, so that'll be extra confusing, but I was reading a story called Batman Imposter. It came out late 2019, or no, late 2020, I think. And the art style was awful. The story's okay, but I just can't get past how bad the art is. So I didn't finish it. Like, I flicked through it just to see how the story went, but nah. Is there any buts in it? I mean, Nightwing is in it a little bit, so kinda. I don't remember if you see his ass or not. Tough love. That's what you have to give chat sometimes, when they get uppity. So not much to say about that. It wasn't that expensive, like the collection of the story, and it is hardback. I was surprised it was so cheap.
Did you see that, Zach?
Hey, thank you, Punk, for using your Twitch Prime for I was going to say 2 weeks. You know what? I'm going to run with it. For 2 weeks. You're watching the stream on mute. How unseemly. There's icons for that now. Ooh, that's very bad because I don't instantly get Holy Mantle back. I have to find another Holy card. Did I go to the shop? I'm going to have to now in case they have a Holy card for sale. If they don't, they would have the means by which to create one, potentially. But I'm not invested enough in the run as this character to spend the money. Or, you know, to bomb the machine to get the money. Because I don't think it will last, given that it's Tainted Lost. This is going to be a rare triple character run, I think. The thing I was surprised I ended up enjoying a lot more was the Marvel comic I read. It was a Thor collection, a Thor omnibus, called the Godslayer Omnibus. So I will talk about the story of it. It's obviously what the new Thor movie is based on, however it's not going to be a one-to-one lift from it for sure. Because there's way too much going on in it that they will not put in a movie. It's the first time I've read a Thor focused comic. I've read a few that have him in it, but never one that's focused on him. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, Lucas. Just gonna have to go. Annoyingly, the items we're getting here are much better, but he has a thing where he gets better items, doesn't he? So it's the omnibus story about the villain that Christian Bale is playing in Love and Thunder, which I think is out today or something. Gore. Is it pronounced Gore? Because it's G-O-R-R. I presume Gore, the god butcher. And the setup to the story is Thor's just kind of traveling the universe and he hears a little alien girl's prayer that they haven't had water for a long time, so he goes to the planet and makes water with his thunder powers. July 8th. July 8th? Wait, why are they talking about ticket sales and whatnot on the Marvel channel then? Well, either way, he goes and helps the aliens, and then he's talking to the aliens afterward, and he's like, why was she praying, like, to Asgard? Why wasn't she praying to her own gods? And then he gets told, oh, I heard stories about them when I was a child from the girl's father, but, you know, there isn't actually gods. And Thor gets angry at this, and then he goes to find whether or not the world did have gods. He finds their pantheon, and it turns out there was, but they've all been murdered. And then the story kind of branches out a little bit, where he realizes, oh, someone I thought I killed is actually still alive, and then you go back to young Thor, before he's worthy of holding Mjolnir, so he's just using an axe. And he has a run-in with Gorr the God Butcher. This is Tainted Lost. He almost gets killed by him, but he survives and then presumes he has killed Gorr, but obviously he hasn't. So then the story is both past Thor doing stuff, present day Thor finding all the gods that have been murdered and being shocked and appalled that other gods haven't noticed or don't care. And then it branches off to future Thor, where he is the last god alive and is still kind of fighting the God Butcher. And the story is one that involves a little bit of time travel shenanigans and this and that. The art is really good, and the story's pretty fun, and the villain is interesting. They're definitely not going to do a one-to-one for him though, because he uses a symbiote sword in the comics that gets fused with him for various reasons. Because he isn't a god, he's just a guy. But he happens to stumble across two gods who have killed each other in battle and takes one of their weapons. And his whole thing is, you know, he hates gods because they either do too much or too little. And then, you know, he gets called the god of hypocrisy eventually, which is fun because he's able to kill gods and he's lived for thousands of years eventually. So he doesn't even realise that he could be considered a god, and when he realises that, he gets quite cross. But he's a fun villain. The comic I'm reading is called, or have read because I finished it, it's called Thor God of Thunder, the God Butcher Omnibus. It's about 350 pages or something. Oh, been a while since you've done that game. There we go. And I recommend it. It was a really good story. Obviously, the new movie is going to lift things from it, but it's not going to be one-to-one. It's not going to be... You're not going to be seeing a story about future Thor and past Thor. I can say that almost certainly. It's definitely not going to have a triple Thor team up. I mean, Jane Foster isn't even in the comic version. They might do a similar kind of thing, but have Jane Foster and Valkyrie be kind of like the other two main characters. And they're also not going to have like his ultimate evil genius plan to kill all gods is to kill the gods of time and create a time bomb, like a literal time bomb, which is a bit too apocalyptic, I think, for them to fit into one film. But yeah, if you can pick it up, I recommend it. It was super cheap on Amazon in the UK, which is kind of why it caught my attention. I think they were trying to like hawk it a little bit before the new movie's out. It's like 13 quid or something, and it's a big book. And Thor was kind of fun. Like, young Thor is just impetuous and just wants to get drunk and have sex constantly. It's quite funny. And old Thor is just like bitter, and once present day Thor meets them both, he hates the fact that he grows up to be just like his father.
Shot speed up.
Shot speed. So I recommend that more than the Batman comic, for once, because most of the Marvel comics I've read have not been very good, so it's rare for me to find one I enjoyed as much as I did. It was a page turner, as they say. The other Marvel thing I've been reading is part of a Marvel Crisis Protocol book. And I mean a book, it's not a comic, it's a literal book. And the weirdest thing about it is... Oh, sorry, I'll quickly answer Lizard Tail's question because I was going to do that earlier. I have no idea what that is, and no. It has Ms. Marvel on the cover and she is one of the main characters in it, but it is... You know, let's just restart as this character because I'm not going to go that much longer. The weird thing is, it says on the back, set in the universe of Marvel Crisis Protocol. There's no such thing. It's a miniature game that has no lore associated with it. At all. Like, it doesn't have a setting for the fights. The character background is just what comics they're from, or their comic background. So I found that very strange. They're written fine from what I've read so far. The story opens with the Guardians of the Galaxy trying to save a bunch of slaves of the Kree Empire from a planet that's exploding suddenly for no reason. And the Empire doesn't care about them, so they're just leaving them to their deaths, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are having trouble because there's only 3 ships left to get everyone off the planet, and there's about room for like 800 people of a planet of 80,000. So they're like, well, that's a problem. Do people move their god measures out their... Oh, does God measure out their distance? I see. That joke needed work. Son of a... This character sucks. But there was some stuff I found funny. Quite a few Drax lines. He talks in caps a lot.
Holy cow.
And when they're deciding like what to do because there's not enough ships for all the people they're trying to get off the planet, Star-Lord's like, does anybody have any ideas? There's no bad ideas, just give me ideas. And Drax says, I have an idea. You know I have these 2 exceedingly sharp knives. If the Kree were not alive, I could more tightly pack them on board the ships. And then after a pause, Star-Lord says, okay, there is some bad ideas. He's not wrong, he would be able to more tightly pack them on board the ships. No, they don't roll dice. I really, really like the expression on Tainted Lost's face right now. So there was fun stuff there, and then it kind of drifts to Miss Marvel at school with Kree refugees at the school. And they're getting bullied for having blue skin, so, you know, I felt that on an emotional level. But at the same time, it was also high school drama, so I kind of started flipping pages a little bit at that point. I'm sure it'll get to fighting eventually. The gist of it is there's a planet killer that kind of absorbs energy from a planet and kills them, and the Guardians of the Galaxy go to Earth to try and find them. Because they snuck out as part of the people on board the ships. It's an episode. Is this an official thing you're telling me about? Also, that's too much text. I need a TLDR. It's a webcomic. Is it official or not? Okay, Shows has heard of it. Can I get a TLDR from you? Webcomics are very early 2000s. Just in general. PG, Cats, Control, Delete, all those other ones that ended their careers by thinking they could do plots instead of jokes. It's official family hijinks. I like my Batman to be grimdark. Keep the goofy shit for Marvel. I don't mind when grim stories have humour in them. Like when we were talking about Alfred and Batman arguing in the Batman's grave. Oh yeah, I like that at the Game of... It wasn't Game Awards. Summer Game Fest, whatever the hell they called the thing. there's going to be a big Gotham Knights reveal, and it was just a 2-minute long Nightwing gameplay trailer, which has already existed in a better form, and is just kind of showing that they're going to do one for each character. Like, that wasn't a big important thing at all. You just wanted to get some advertising on a big show that's got lots of viewers. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's for me. Not what I'm looking for from Batman. That's out the end of October, yeah. Start of October is Darktide, I think, or vice versa. October is a busy month. It seems far away, but time is fleeting. Atomic Mass Games is tweeting. What are they talking about? They're doing a painting stream today, because I guess they've got over their COVID. Darktide is September? Are you sure? Is there early access? Jesus, you move fast. And what the hell were the two games out in October then? There was definitely a game out at the start of October and the end of October. October 23rd is Gotham Knights for sure. So what was the other thing? Come on, Valinar, you're usually good at these things.
Balls of steel.
Meh. I'm controlling my spear. Why does Tainted Lost seem to get these bosses a lot? No, the Suicide Squad got delayed until next year. Because it is in development hell, very clearly. Mind control tiers. Oh, Fat Delirium looked cute. There was definitely an early October game release. Oh, Midnight Suns. That was it, I think. So you look horrifying. Oh, Ty. You ready for the Sunbreak demo tomorrow? We'll be playing on PC, incidentally. No Switch demo. Platypus, Turtle, Ryzik, and Malzeno, or whatever the new vampire thing is called. I love that they've already tweeted, hey, the balance of the demo is to shit, don't pay attention to it. The full game is different. So you do that every time, why are you pretending that it's new?
Did you see that, Zach?
I did. Thank you, Flint Steeljaw, for using your Twitch Prime for the 4th time. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Backstreet's back. Alright. The mulligan's the one where you have to get hit, right? Well, we'll never know.